What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. More C4, where we react to all Philadelphia Eagles games except last week, because I wasn't home as the Saquon Barkley Giants revenge tour. But I mean, you really need me just talking for 10 minutes about why the Giants suck. But we were locked in all day today. So Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 37-17. The Eagles are hot. We're getting hot at the right time. And we're down. We're no Jordan Mailata, no Dallas Goedert. And we're still humming on the offensive side of the ball in back-to-back weeks. The defense outside of that opening drive for the Bengals, which felt like it was a 37-play, 15-minute drive, unbelievable dink and dunks. Full credit to them. I think the plan was they want to have a long, methodical drive, bang that the Eagles are going to continue with their first drive offensive struggles, and then they would get a second opportunity against a gassed Philadelphia Eagles defense. I think that might have been the line of thinking there. Smart strategy, but it was god-awful, boring, bullshit, pussy football. Okay? Gotta say that. And I haven't watched a lot of Bengals games this year. I had some Bengal fans in my mention saying that there's a clear and obvious play calling issue with Zach Taylor, and they're pretty much out on him as their head coach. But I came into this one, Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow, very similar, I think, when you are ranking quarterbacks in the NFL. I think you have, the same storyline. Both went to Super Bowls early in their career. Both as players and teams, be it the Eagles and the Bengals, believe that young enough in those quarterback careers that they're going to eventually get back to that big game. You look at MVP voting, I think most sites right now, and let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here, but it's a discussion we had, has Joe Burrow at like 5 and Jalen Hurts at 7. If you're looking at like the top 10 MVP odds right now, I'm going to tell you right now, Jalen Hurts was clearly the better quarterback of the day. And I don't think Joe Burrow had a particularly bad game. The interception was off a deflection, which was actually more of a hell of a play by the Eagles defense. Isaiah Rodgers in for the injured Darius Slay. Didn't really notice that Slay wasn't out there. And I've been one of the people that comes to defend Darius Slay. I know a lot of people in the fan base are out on Darius Slay. I think, still a very good player. Still probably our best corner. Probably. And we say that probably because I think we have a lot of good right now in our secondary. Quinyon Mitchell's playing lights out, playing like a potential defensive rookie of the year, at least having a discussion. Cooper DeJean, small sample size because he's only been here a couple weeks. He could be in the discussion for defensive rookie of the year. Isaiah Rodgers was like a PFF darling, never really had a chance to make a play and get on the field for the Philadelphia Eagles. But the last 2 weeks he's got on, and he's looked pretty damn good. Gets a batted deflection. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson gets the interception. It's a great morale boost for him, who's been playing up and down football, generally speaking, for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So I'm not going to necessarily put the interception on like a garbage throw by Joe Burrow, but I think Jalen Hurts, this was his best game of the year. Had one-on-one with A.J. Brown that you'd like to see, maybe a more catchable ball. You could also make the argument on the touchdown to Devontae Smith, a little bit of a duck. It was like the wobbliest, most accurate throw I've seen Jalen Hurts make. Like that ball it almost looked like threw it sideways, and it still was like right in the breadbasket for Devontae Smith. It was awesome. Jalen Hurts with a 4-touchdown performance, which was awesome for my fantasy team because I drafted Jalen Hurts to be my quarterback 1, RB2, and that's kind of how it played out today with 3 rushing touchdowns. But 16-20. Again, with the A.J. Brown miss, maybe left a touchdown on the field out there. But Jalen Hurts was awesome. Jalen Hurts is getting into a pocket, getting into a rhythm. He's playing turnover-free football, which wasn't the case before the bye week. So we were trying to see what this Philadelphia Eagles team was going to look like after that much-needed early bye. And initial returns was the defense got figured out. Vic Fangio got them boys playing, but still offensively, there's concerns. But what we can now say, that we're a couple games after the bye week, is defense still looking very good. Vic got them boys playing. Cooper DeJean coming into the defense has definitely elevated the group. But offensively, maybe we're slowly starting to trend towards the direction of run first, commit to the run, and then let Jalen find Devontae and AJ. That will work. But the thing we know for sure out of the bye week for the offense is Jalen Hurts has cut out the turnover-worthy plays. So, if we're just those two things, that's good enough for that early bye. That's good enough to be feeling good about how this Eagles team improved off of that bye week. And, you can make the argument right now, 3 best teams in the NFL, Kansas City, Detroit, and Philadelphia. I think that's very much a discussion that needs to be had right now with the Eagles. Didn't want to say that, beating the Browns and Giants. right? That Browns game was not really that impressive. Giants was, but Giants are the Giants. But a team like Cincinnati, they were the favorites. I'm pretty sure Philly was a road dog in this one. And we beat the brakes off them, especially in the second half. Very happy with this Eagles performance. Throwing out some grades here quickly. Jalen Hurts, 16-20, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, no sacks, almost 40 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. I don't want to say it was his best game all year, because even though statistically you're going 4 touchdowns, but this is what we expect from Jalen Hurts. This is the quarterback that we need to go to where we want to go. So I'm going to give Jalen Hurts an all A here. Saquon Barkley, 108 yards, had a couple big-time runs, a couple game-killing runs, back-breaking runs. I will say for the running backs, very, very annoying that Will Shipley had an awesome touchdown run late in garbage time called back. It was a hold, I think, on Nick Gates. It might have been the play of the game for the Philadelphia Eagles. That, in a vacuum, not just looking at the impact of the game, the best play would have been probably that Will Shipley touchdown that did not count, which would have been awesome for the rookie to get on the board there. But ultimately, the running backs were awesome. Give them an A as well. Receiving, Devontae Smith, 6 catches, 85 yards and a touchdown, 84 yards for A.J. Brown. Calcaterra has caught on. I really do need to fact check myself and see if Calcaterra was at Oklahoma when Jalen Hurts was, because there's just a level of confidence that a lot of people, you look at some of these sites that come up with those bogus, like, oh, let's make a list about potential trades before the deadline. A lot of them have Philadelphia going after a tight end. Calcaterra's been very one-dimensional. He's a receiver. That's kind of what you get the 1-2 punch. Like Calcaterra and Stoll are together combined to replace Dallas Goedert. You get the blocking of Stoll, the receiving of Calcaterra. I think we're fine. I think we're all right. I think if you're talking about trade deadlines for the Philadelphia Eagles, where we need to look at, personally, I would say if a linebacker is available, I think a popular name that I think would be interesting to kick the tires, we might see next week, and Olakun, the linebacker from the Jags. Just because I think, and I don't want to dog him, let's get the receiver grade out. I think both Smitty and AJ, like everyone made a play. There's no bad drops. So I'll give the receivers, and AJ, Devontae's touchdown was absolutely incredible. So we'll give them an A as well. Just throwing out the A's. But I'd say defensively, Nakobe Dean, I like Nakobe Dean. I like the splash plays. He's still a liability in coverage. I would make the argument that a linebacker that is more suited to be playing in coverage, it's a better compliment, because it seems like of the two, Zach Bond probably has a little bit more stability in keeping his spot as a starter. Nakobe Dean's like near the bottom of the league for cover linebacker grades. Nakobe Dean's awesome in pursuit. He's awesome diagnosing run plays. Last week he had, 2 sacks? So, right now our linebacking core, it's kind of like a yin and yang. I think if teams really could get off and start attacking our linebackers in the passing game, we're probably not going to look particularly good. Luckily, our pass rush has been able to kind of disrupt things across the middle, blitzing our linebackers versus having them drop back into coverage. I think that's clearly by design by McFadden, because he knows in coverage, don't really have the guys. So rather than just keeping them in coverage and having them be exposed, let's start blitzing them. Let's start bringing the pressure and just risk it. Risk it that they're not going to attack the middle of the field. And it's been working. But I do think against some of these better teams, you're going to have linebackers that can cover. And I would like to say that maybe be the area of concern. Still have Nakobe Dean get on the field. Still, use him, honestly, how we thought the Philadelphia Eagles would use Devin White. Bring Nakobe Dean on blitzing situations. Have him be out there like a considerable amount of snaps. Him and Zach Bond rotate. But I think a cover linebacker, which they don't grow on trees, but that would be the direction I might want to look for the Philadelphia Eagles. Other than that, or get creative and get Sidney Brown out there. I think Sidney Brown could play a little bit of that hybrid safety linebacker a little bit. I would like to see him get on the field more, and that's not just Canadian bias coming out on full display. But outside of saying a potential trade for a linebacker, ultimately, defense played well. Outside of that first drive for the Bengals where it was just, couldn't get off the field, back-breaking, third downs. It felt like Joe Burrow converted 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 20, 3rd and 15. Just, it was one of those ones that wasn't the best. And I think, something I'm just noticing, defense plays better when number 3's out there and number 0 isn't. Number 0 being Bryce Huff, number 3 being Nolan Smith. Something I kind of cued in on. Nolan Smith, they only give him a half sack. Well, him and Milton split it, but it was one of those bullshit where, it was clearly Nolan Smith. Milton got there. Maybe they'll talk about it in the locker room, give the full sack to Nolan Smith. He's on a sack streak, and I feel like when he's not even getting out to the quarterback, his pursuit is on another level. He is the guy that needs to be in that spot and playing. It'll be interesting to see the total snap counts. But I'd be wanting to see this guy get on the field a lot more than this guy, because I think this guy is earning it on a, I don't know what it was. It would have been like about a 15-yard scramble by Joe Burrow on 3rd and long to move the chains. This guy got like deleted. Couldn't get off his blocks. Felt like there just wasn't a whole lot of juice there, where I feel like this guy probably would have been able to make the play on that one, just with his strength in his run game and his pursuit and his athleticism. So that's a little annoying. That's my one annoyance that I kind of have with the defense out of this matchup. But other than that, man, I mean, Cooper DeJean is awesome. Hopefully the injury to Darius Slay's not too bad. Definitely felt like there was a moment there. Reed Blankenship and the linebackers are getting picked on by Mike Gesicki. They're kind of using Mike Gesicki in a weird, like, tight end wide receiver hybrid role, picking on these guys, which is something that definitely needs to get tightened up. But ultimately, the defense, especially in the second half, just said, no, we're going to go ahead and just kind of seal this deal. We're going to get out the field. We're going to let our offense do the thing, close the game out. And that's not usually the case for Philadelphia. When you have Jalen Carter having a quiet game, when you have, all things considered, I mean, Nolan Smith only got 1 sack. BG had a couple good run pursuits. Josh Sweat doesn't even make the box score. Usually, that's not going to be great for Philadelphia, especially the last couple weeks of the bye week where it's been our sacks. Our sacks and our pass rush has been outstanding. Very quiet today, but ultimately defense does their job and holds. Even without T. Higgins, it's still a potent Bengals team and Bengals offense. We shut that shit down. So very awesome to see that. Defense as a whole, I'm going to give them a B+ performance. Game ball for me on the offense, I think it has to go to Jalen Hurts. I think it's definitely one of Jalen Hurts' better games. Managed the game. You'll love the fact that he's on a little bit of a streak of no turnovers. Needs that to continue. We got Jacksonville at home next week. Handle business. Don't have that, kind of creep up and let the Jags stay in it and flirt with it being a trap game. Handle business. And if this Eagles team plays like this and shows up more often than not every week, Philadelphia is going to be able to maintain pace with the Detroit Lions for that 1 seed in the NFC. So let me know what you guys think about this game in the comment section below. I think Jalen Hurts playing awesome football. Hopefully he continues next week against the Jags. But that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button here on the channel. And I'll see you back here next week, hopefully talking and ranting about a big-time Eagles dub. Peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.